fishing friend, my name is JC with Rad Reeling Fishing. In this video, I'm going to show you the fastest, the quickest, the easiest, the simplest way to tie an FG knot. Now, the FG knot is the slimmest and the strongest knot for connecting your monofilament or your fluorocarbon leader to your main braided fishing line. It is so important to learn how to tie this knot, you guys. Now, there are a lot of tutorials out here, but I promise you, this is the simplest method, and it is not inferior to any other FG knot tying method out there. It is the simplest and it is the fastest way to tie an FG knot. It's good for beginners, intermediate, and advanced fishermen. So let me show you how to do this. I've got my leader line here. This is 8-pound test leader line. I do this with all the way down to 20-pound test, and I don't have a problem. The line is a little bit flexible on 20-pound test leader, but it still can be done using this method pretty darn easy, actually. So I'm going to pinch my leader line about 3 to 3.5 inches from the end. Then I'm going to take and lay my braid across, forming a crisscross with the braid and the leader line. I want the tag end of my braid to be 10 to 12 inches long. So I got my main line here, my tag end here. I'm pinching it tight right here. I take and I wrap underneath the leader line and I pull back underneath where I've got it pinched so that it pulls it tight. Then I take the tag end of the braid and do the same thing, go underneath and then pull back tight where you're pinching. So you're pulling those coils together as you pull it back in this direction and that direction. So you're going underneath, pull it back, alternate, underneath, pull it back. Tag end, main line. I do this 10 times on each side. So you've got a total of 20 times that you have wrapped both of these lines around. 10 times on the main line, 10 times on the tag end. And I'm not keeping count, but we'll just keep going here until I feel like I've got probably 10 wraps on here. You guys kind of get the idea. So once I've got 10 wraps on that, I keep it pinched here. I grab the tag end of the monofilament or the fluoro and I pull it through a little bit longer. It just makes it easier when I'm tying the half hitches. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tie 2 alternating half hitches around the main line and the monofilament or fluorocarbon leader. It's easier when I use my teeth to do this. So I'm going to go a half hitch through, put the tag into my mouth, and pull that down. Do another half hitch, alternating the opposite direction, put the tag into my mouth, and then cinch that down tight. So at this point, I'm pulling the tag into the leader line and the main braided line. I'm pulling that down as I'm holding the tag into the braid in my mouth. Pull that down nice and tight. The next thing I'm going to do, now that I have that done, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to cinch down the main line of the braid and the main part of the leader. I'm going to cinch this down as tight as I possibly can. You can use pull sticks, you can use gloves, is whatever, but the key to the FG knot is pulling this down and locking those coils into the leader line. The braided coils have to lock into that leader line. So it doesn't matter if you're using a no tension method or a tension method. The basics of an FG knot are the same. This is the most important part right here, is locking those braided coils into that monofilament or fluorocarbon. I mean, you've got to pull with all of your might that you have. You have to pull with all of your might. Okay, so once I have that cinched down really good, I like to take this and lay it down on a hard surface. I'm going to get the tag and the main braided line completely out of the way, where I just have the tag end of the leader line and the knot. I'm going to lay that down on a hard surface. I'm going to take my knife on the tag end of the leader line. I'm just going to slide that up gently until it bumps into the braid. Then a sharp knife I'm going to take and apply pressure, and I'm going to cut that off right at the edge of where the braided line was. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tag end of braid and I'm going to tie 2 half hitches around the main braided line, using my teeth again on the tag end of the braid, just to pull that down nice and tight. At this point, I'm applying a lot of pressure. I'm pulling on the main braided line, and I've got the tag into the braid line in my teeth. I'm putting a lot of pressure on that to lock those knots down really good. The last step in the process is to cut off the tag end of the braided fishing line right up next to the knot. So there's our FG knot, you guys. And at this point, we double check it. We pull it really tight. We cinch it down again, making sure that everything's locked in good. And it's staying together, you guys. It's staying together. We have tied an excellent FG knot. Good for beginners, intermediate, or advanced fishermen. Super easy, super fast, and super strong. A final tip for you guys. I do this every time that I rig my FG knots at the house. It cost $1 to get 2 tubes of super glue from the Dollar Tree. Right where I finished off those half hitches, I put 1 little bitty drop of super glue. That just ensures that those knots are not going to come apart if I'm out there fishing with this knot, casting over and over and over again for 10 hours, right? Hopefully I will have caught a big fish and had to do some re-rigging at that point. But yeah, there's a tip for you. That's one way to just really secure your FG knot and make sure that thing is not going to come unraveled at all. So there are other knots that are a lot quicker to tie for attaching your leader line to your main braided fishing line. The difference in the FG knot and all of those other knots out there, you guys, is the FG knot is by far the slimmest knot. It is not going to clank and make a bunch of noise. It's not going to impede it's not going to impede your casting ability with that knot hitting the guides of your fishing rod, making a bunch of noise. No, this knot slides through the guides of your fishing rod really nice and smooth. And it is the strongest of all knots out there, you guys. So practice, practice, practice. Learn how to tie the FG knot. If you enjoyed this video, check out this one on all the different applications of uni knots. Check out this one for how to tie a canoe man loop knot. This one over here on 2 braided knots that work with swivels. And this one over here, I can't think of what it is, but it's a good one.